quickly through the final walkthrough. There have been quite a few changes since the last video walkthrough. Originally, Peter was working with me on the desktop app. He was going to work on the GUI, and he dropped the class. So I have picked up and done my best to try and implement a decent graphical user interface that interconnects with the GPS coordinates. Again, quite a few things have changed since the last walkthrough. Let's just take a quick look here at the code. The login stuff is all the same. The give money, take money options are new since the walkthrough. I'll show you those in just a moment. Brandon was awesome and really stepped in to help me out. So he created this update listener with this hash table that's actually pulling the information from the database. And then what I did is I added the code to actually update the GUI, and all these different things here are little methods that I created. Brandon also created the location timer, so that way what it's doing is as soon as a user is logged in, it's verified through the database, every 60 seconds this is going to call the database in order to update the GPS coordinates of the different players, as well as update the money list, so that way if people have battled each other and gained or lost money since the last time the player name list was updated, this will now show the current information. These down here are just the different controlling variables that I'm using to update the user interface. So I just created some location booleans here, so that way if the player happens to be at these particular longitudes and latitudes, it's going to then tell us what location they're in. For the purpose of this demo, I'm only using 4 buildings. So we've got the Science Building, Web Hall, the Library, and the Student Center. Obviously, if I'd had more time to work on this, I would really have liked to map out more locations on the campus. But again, I was trying for many, many days to do an actual map view and then overlay like little dots where the players were, and that just was not working out. So I had to switch over and kind of change my approach so that this is more of an abstract method, as you'll see in a minute. Again, just more controlling variables, because what will happen is, so player team 1 will be the blue team, team 2 will be the red team. So this way, if a blue player is in a particular grid location on campus, the grid will show blue. If there's a red player in a grid, it will show red. And if there happens to be both a blue player and a red player in the same location, the grid will pop up purple, and then that will let us know that they are, in theory, close enough in order to actually battle each other via the mobile application. It's not an exact science. We were having some difficulty for a while there with the geolocation stuff, but I think this is pretty good for what we were working with. And then this is just another method I did in order to actually update the grid. And I will definitely be uploading all of this code as well to my blog. And I think all the rest of these were on here the last walkthrough. So let's just go ahead and we'll launch it. So again, this is all communicating with the server. So I'll just use a previously registered username. We'll let that connect with the server. Sometimes there's a bit of a delay with talking. There we go. All right, so this, not the prettiest thing to look at, but these are going to be the abstract locations of the campus. So obviously Science Building, Web, Student Center, Library. And because that timer just started as soon as I logged in, within 60 seconds, those should update. So they'll change colors depending on where people currently are. Obviously, for the purpose of this demo, we're just using static information. But if this were, a real live application with actual mobile players that are, moving around and sending their information via their mobile application to the database, every 60 seconds this would be getting updated with fresh information. So those will probably change color in a moment here. In the meantime, I did change this a little bit from last time, the money list. So now it's making sure that, oh, there we go. Okay, so you can see the timer just hit off. It just communicated with the database. So we know that there's both a red player and a blue player, both in Web Hall and the Science Building. We know that there's a single blue player in the library and a single red player in the Student Center. One of the stretch goals we had for this program would be the possibility, so if I'm here on the desktop, you'd be able to, so let's say I'm on the blue team, and I see that there's someone on the red team in the Student Center. So what I would do is I'd be able to click on one of my players and basically send them a message to go to that new location so that they're close enough in order to battle each other. But what I was saying before, the other change that I made over here is I made sure that you can only give one of your players as much money as you currently have in the team cache. And I also made sure that you can't take more money from a player than they currently have. There we go. So that was the 60-second update going there again. So just to illustrate, so let's say I want to give the new user, and now it gives you the option, do you want to give them or take money? So if I want to give them some money, what it will do is give me the option of how much to give. Okay, and then once I give them 256, it's going to repopulate the list to show the new dollar amount that I just gave to them. So let's go to that same user. Now let's say I want to take some money. And let's say I want to take $512 from them, but you can see they only have $256. So once I try to take that money, it will tell me that I cannot take that much money from them because they do not have it. Let's try that again. And so we'll take an amount we actually can, but also pay attention to the fact that up here the team cache will also change because I'll be sorry, I froze out there. So if I try to take, let's just take $32 from them, and then you can look at the team cache. It's going to go from $36.80 to $37.12. So it's just putting that money that I just took from them back in the team bank. And that's pretty much it. So that was the demo of the desktop application. I'm still going to call it the alpha version. Unfortunately, we just didn't have enough time or resources to get it into the beta version due to some unforeseen circumstances. But I've got to say personally, this is definitely the most complex code that I personally have written, and I feel pretty proud of what I was able to accomplish. So thank you, and hope you enjoyed.